Hi, I'm Mike Elliott. I am the curator of the Academy of Adventure Gaming and Design Hall of Fame. Since being established in the 1970s, the Academy has inducted many individuals, products, and game-related publications into the Hall. To be inducted into the Hall, you have to have been in the field in any capacity for 20 years or more. This year we are inducting several individuals and products. We're also inducting a Rising Star. The Rising Star Award was created to honor individuals who have been in the field a short period of time and don't have the 20 years of service required to make it into the Hall. This year's Rising Star is going to Wolfgang Warsch. Wolfgang Warsch has over a dozen games published. In 2018, his games included The Mind, That's Pretty Clever, and The Quacks of Quedlinburg, which was the 2018 Kinderspiel winner. We expect to see more great games from Wolfgang over the years, but this year it is our honor to present the Rising Star Award to Wolfgang Warsch.
Hey everyone, and greetings from Austria here in the middle of Europe. Look what I found in the mail today. It's the Rising Star Award. This really hit me by surprise. I mean, look at this shiny thing. I want to say a big thank you to everyone in the committee. And of course, I immediately went online and wanted to see who else already got this award. And I just found out I'm just the second person who got this. And the first one was James Stegmaier. I mean, he's a giant in the industry. I'm a huge fan of his games, and he did and he does so much for this great hobby. So yeah, no pressure there. Yeah, I started doing this like semi-professionally, like about 3 years ago, and now for 2 years I do it now professionally. And already getting awarded this Rising Star Award just like it feels just amazing, and just gives a lot of motivation to keep on designing games. Yeah, I want to make it short. I just want to say thank you one more time to everyone who believed I'm worthy this award, and yeah, I wish you guys a great show. See you.
Welcome back. The first product we're inducting into the Hall of Fame this year is Yahtzee. First produced in 1956, Yahtzee is considered the grandfather of roll and write and roll and reroll games. Currently, there are over 200 grandchildren to this game in the market now. So we thought it was fitting that this year we should induct it into the Hall of Fame. Currently owned by Hasbro, it sells tens of millions of copies every year. Accepting the award for Hasbro this year is Jeff Anderson.
On behalf of Hasbro and the gaming team, I would like to thank the Academy of Adventure Gaming and Design for inducting Yahtzee into the Hall of Fame and recognizing it as one of the unique games that have changed culture and gaming throughout century. Yahtzee is a fascinating game, and it's kept alive by not just the people here at Hasbro, but by its millions of fans around the world. If you're not familiar with the legacy of Hasbro, it's a fascinating story. The game was invented by a wealthy Canadian couple who would play the game on their yacht. They met a man named Edward Lowen, and his experience in toys led him to believe that there was an opportunity. So Edward Lowe took the product after purchasing it, changed the name to Yahtzee, and in 1965 brought it to the world. It was a game he discovered was more impactful by playing than hearing an ad. So he took it on a word-of-mouth campaign around the globe to get people excited about playing with him. Over the years, the game's popularity grew and has become one of the most successful games of all time, with over 13 million copies sold in the US alone over the last couple of years. The game's enduring legacy and Edwin Lowe's talents have become part of history, and that is the reason why we've now partnered with companies to bring it to the digital age. Companies like Scopely, who with Yahtzee with Buddies now have made it one of the top 50 grossing games of all time, and it's one of the games that have received over 50 million downloads. Because of that enormous success, we're very proud and honored to be part of the inclusion of the game into the Hall of Fame. We thank you for your support, and we look forward to working on these kinds of games with you into the future. Thank you.
In addition to games and products, over the years we have also inducted publications such as Dragon Magazine and the Wargaming Review, Berg's Review of Games. In modern times, we're moving into computers. This year we are inducting BoardGameGeek.com. Every industry professional has used BoardGameGeek.com, which has reviews, FAQs, and the critically important how to play videos. Accepting the award for BoardGameGeek.com is the owner, Scott Alden.
Hi everybody, this is Aldi from Board Game Geek. I just wanted to thank the Origins Committee for inducting us into the Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor to be included amongst all the great designers, publishers, and everybody else who's in that Hall of Fame. We really appreciate it. So thank you on behalf of the company and myself and all the users. I know this has been a tough time. This is a rough year. And I'm hoping that the power of gaming and board gaming together can get us through this. So thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Welcome back. Our first person to be inducted this year is Reinhold Wittig. Reinhold is a German game designer who has been designing since the 1970s. In 1984, he established the Göttinger Game Convention, which is a game convention for designers and publishers, which has hundreds of attendees every year. He ran the event for 33 years before handing it off to the Game Authors Guild in Germany to run it for him. He is also a noted game activist. In 1988, at the Nuremberg Toy Fair, he helped coordinate several game designers with the objective of getting game designers credits on the game boxes. Over the years, he has produced a number of games, and because of his exceptional contributions to the field, we are proud to induct him into the Hall of Fame this year. Due to the COVID virus, we were not able to get a video for Reinhold this year. However, he was able to provide us with a speech. Reading the speech for Reinhold is fellow Hall of Famer Eric Lang.
My name is Reinhold Wittig. I've been designing games since the late 50s, but it took until 1974 to realize that I'm something like a game author. By now, there are more than 200 of my games, and of course I'm often asked which one I like best. My answer is always the one I'm currently working on. If that wasn't the case, I would certainly stop. When asked what is worth knowing about me, there are the following 6 things. 2 of them still lie in the future, though. In 1979, I suddenly realized that anyone can design games, no matter how old they are, what education they have, or what environment they live in. I've offered elementary materials with a challenge. Why don't you do it yourself? An unexpected success. Afterwards, I was asked more and more often about everything related to that. To put things into a broader sense, I sent out invitations in 1982 for the first game designer convention in Göttingen, the first worldwide, in fact, which took place on the 8th and 9th of January, 1983. Many well-known and not so well-known people from several countries in Europe came. My hometown, Göttingen, generally supported the idea, knowing that gaming is culture, and hopefully will continue to do so for a long time. In 1991, the SAZ, the Game Designer Association, emerged from this gathering. This year, we were planning to meet for the 39th time. Stupid, stupid coronavirus. With this gathering, I introduced the expression game author. Until then, the term was game inventor. And these people who created games were often mentioned only in the back of boxes or not at all. Again and again, we discussed this problem, and when we were in a heated debate in a small group in Nuremberg on the 4th of February 1988, I unceremoniously took a beer coaster and wrote the momentous sentence on it. None of us gives a game to a company if their name is not on the cover. I got 3 signatures that same evening, more in the following days after the fair. In the 90s especially, I've campaigned against colonialism in games and against the use of attractive names in game titles, especially of indigenous peoples. If you want to use such titles, you have to make sure that no feelings are hurt or taboos are broken. For many things, there is an International Day of the Game, possibly the oldest cultural achievement of humanity, is urgently needed. Playing might very well be the last cultural activity of humanity one day too, aside from some music. For some years now, I have strived for an equal treatment of books and games. I dream that maybe one day there might even be a Nobel Peace Prize for literature for a game author. I'm in very close contact with the Göttingen Literaturherbst, which is the Göttingen Literary Autumn, a very renowned literature event. I promoted this thought with the slogan Spiel kann Buch, which I send out as a postage stamp around the world. I am delighted and humbled to be included in the Hall of Fame, and I'm very proud of it. My heartfelt thanks to the Origins Academy. It is a great thing for the playful world of my thoughts to find such a great recognition.
Our last inductee, but not least, is Wolfgang Kramer. Wolfgang is a German game designer who has won numerous Spiel des Jahres awards and is a pioneer in the area of area control games. His game El Grande, published in 1995, has held a spot in the BGG Top 100 in an era when most games are gone within 10 years. He is also credited with developing the action point system and the use of the edge of the board as a scoring track, which is used in hundreds of modern games. There are well over 10 million copies of his games in print. He was a founding member of the German Game Authors Guild, which helped promote the interests of game authors. We were able to get a recording of him at the Nuremberg Toy Fair this year. Please help us in honoring Wolfgang Kramer.
Hello everybody, my name is Wolfgang Kramer and I am a game designer for more than 45 years. I'm happy to be accepted into the Hall of Fame. It's a great honor for me and I'm proud to be one of these exquisite members. At first, I developed games in my free time, and since 31 years as my profession. What could be neither than turning my hobby into my profession. I was the first game designer who lives exclusively on inventing games. I have received many awards all over the world, and amongst them there are 5 times the Game of the Year in Germany, several times the Deutsche Spielepreis, including the Deutsche Spielepreis for my life's work. Several times the International Gamers Award and several times the Meeple Choice Award. I am proud that over 30 games have been sold more than 100,000 times. My total circulation is higher than 10 millions. I don't know exactly how much. I have stopped counting. And I have published more than 200 games. I don't know how much there are. You know, I have stopped counting. But success is not mine alone, but also my wife, my co-authors, my test persons. My wife helps me with everything. She advises me and give me maybe names for a title or some ideas. And she is the most important test person, the first and most important. I made many of my most important games with co-authors. Michael Kiesling, with whom I have been working closely together and amicable for over 20 years. He lives in the north of Germany and I in the south. we often call for hours. Good thing that there is a flat rate. I must also mention Richard Ulrich. I designed only a few games with him, but two important games: The Princess of Florence and El Grande. I now live with my wife in a senior residence in a 3-room apartment. One room is full of games. This is our study. My archive and my game collection are in another apartment, which is 10 kilometers away. This apartment is full of games that go from the ground to the ceiling. The games are stacked in all rooms. In the hallway, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, on the stove, and under the sink. There is only one small place and only one small room where there are no games. It's a toilet. Over the past few decades, I have had some nice anecdotes. I would like to tell you one of them. When I was still a hobby designer and worked for the Bosch company, a journalist from a major newspaper interviewed me. The newspaper worked with very huge and black headlines. Among other things, he asked me how, when, and where I would find my ideas for my games. And I said, oh, maybe on a long trip of the highway, or in everything that my sense absorb in everyday life, and sometimes before sleeping. When I come to the company the next day, I was greeted by loud, laughing colleagues. But nobody said a word. Why everyone was so funny? A newspaper was opened on my desk, and I could read the headline in big, bold letters: Kramer has his best ideas in bed. Now I thank the Hall of Game jury for choosing me, and I greet all friends worldwide, and with them a lots of fun and enjoyment with games. Thank you and goodbye.